going on, guys? Here I am. I'm back. This is going to be a pretty different video. I've had a crazy couple months, and it essentially stopped me from making YouTube videos right now, and I kind of wanted to explain what happened. First off, a really big thank you to my buddy Nathan, who made a bunch of videos for my channel to keep you guys entertained while I was healing, and we'll get into that. But Nathan, you are a prize poodle. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, brother. This is going to be kind of hard to talk about, but I feel like I owe it to my subscribers and the people that come to my channel. I'm sorry I was gone for so long. I had some medical emergencies that had to be taken care of that put me indisposed for a long time. So we can talk about it. August 18th was my birthday, and I spent my birthday having a lot of flu-like symptoms, throwing up and everything. And the 19th, which was Wednesday, I was supposed to go to dialysis, but I was far too sick. So instead, I went to a local hospital to emerge because I was just so sick. And at that point, I was still just showing flu-like symptoms. And then, kind of out of nowhere, I got this earth-shattering pain in my stomach. And I've never felt pain like this before. And I was basically in the fetal position in the hospital bed, screaming at the nurses that I needed to see a doctor quickly, because there was something extremely wrong about this situation. At that point in time, I blacked out. And I don't remember a lot after that until about 5 or 6 days later. I woke up in the ICU of a different hospital, a much larger hospital, as they were pulling a breathing tube out of my mouth. I had no idea where I was. I had no idea what happened to me. All I remember was being in this pain in the hospital. And then I blacked out and I woke up in this totally different place. I had a feeding tube in my nose down to my stomach. I had 3 or 4 IVs coming out of me. My arms and hands were super swollen, like I didn't recognize them when I woke up. And I was strapped to the bed because I was trying to pull out my breathing tube. So this was my first memory of being in this hospital. And I was so confused and so scared. And eventually, my mother came into my hospital room like a couple hours later. And I couldn't talk. And I couldn't move. My legs wouldn't work. My arms barely worked. My hands barely worked. And I wrote, my mom had an erasable board, like a little whiteboard, and I wrote with a marker what happened. And she told me after I blacked out from the pain, they took me to get an x-ray of my abdomen, and they saw that my intestines, a part of it was extremely swollen, and they had big problems with this. So I was shipped to a different hospital that was more equipped to look after me. At that time, they decided to do emergency surgery and try to remove that piece of intestine that had essentially stopped taking blood and died. That section of intestine. So when they started the surgery, my blood pressure bottomed out, and my heart was not pumping enough blood to keep my body alive. So they stopped the surgery, but they couldn't put me back together because they had no time, because my blood pressure was not giving them time. So they put a pump under my stomach that would get rid of everything my stomach was telling it to get rid of. And I was sent back to the ICU, still open from surgery, but sealed around this pump. My wife and my mom and my sister spent a lot of time with me, and I would wake up periodically, and sometimes I was really scared, sometimes I was more relaxed, but I remained that way for 4 days. I was in a hospital bed, and my stomach totally open, but they couldn't finish the surgery because my blood pressure kept bottoming out. There was 1 or 2 times where my family was called to the bedside because they didn't know if essentially I was going to make it through the night because of my blood pressure. My wife stayed with me the entire night, and she slowly watched my blood pressure crawl back up a little bit at a time. And on the 4th day, they believed that they could go back into surgery and finish everything and close me back up. So that's what they did. And they gave me a medication that would help me forget those last 4 days, so I wouldn't have to remember the pain I was in and the problems that I had had and the surgery. I wouldn't remember. So when I woke up and they were pulling out my breathing tube, I had no recollection of what happened. So my mom, at that point, when she came to visit me, told me what happened. And I honestly didn't believe her. I didn't believe that I had been through all that, because how can you not remember any of that? Now, a month later, I have little snippets of memories from that time that are slowly coming back. But it's still a massive blur. After that, I spent another just over 2 weeks in the hospital. I was in the hospital for about 21 days. And I couldn't remember how many times I had to give blood, how many IVs I had. Getting to relearn how to use my body again, how to use my hands, how to regain strength in my arms, my legs. It's just, when you don't use your body for almost 2 weeks, your body just goes so weak. And it's taking me time to kind of, relearn how to do these things. I still walk with a limp. I'm still gaining my strength back in my legs and my arms. I got a good 8-inch cut down my stomach, which is a pretty gnarly scar now. A lot about my body has changed since this whole experience, and I'm still getting used to it. But I have my wife and my mom that are so amazing and considerate, and they help me with everything, and I'm getting there. I'm slowly getting there. But recovery takes a lot of time, and it was a hard lesson to learn that I have to slowly heal. Because I wanted to just start walking and just start doing things, but it's not like that. I had to use a walker for about a week after I came home. And every day I get a little bit stronger. So this is the story of kind of what happened to me. And I just want to let my subscribers and my followers know this is what happened. This is why I was gone. But I didn't forget about you. And I love that you still remained with my channel. And you still watched my videos. And you commented. I really appreciate you guys. I can't explain that enough. I have a lot of things that I want to film and I want to do for this channel. And hopefully you guys stick around and check it out. Like I said, I am moving a little slow, but I'm going to try my best to get content up. And I'll see how things go. So, like I said, thank you so much for being here. And again, thank you to Nathan for being here and helping out. And I'm back. Hopefully we won't have any more craziness, and I'll be around and keep making videos for you. Okay? So thank you so much. And at least our dog's not werewolf. And don't forget, we have merch. So check out our merch. Okay? Thank you.